You know, I don't know if I've ever met anybody as ungrateful as the former First Lady, Michelle Obama. I remember meeting her a couple of years ago when she came over here to the United Kingdom and she was launching one of her books, and she'd sold out this big arena, it has to be said, chums, and it was chock-a-block with people. I think it was Becoming Michelle, something like that. Do you remember that? And the thing was, she seemed polite and happy and everything. And now what we're seeing is literally a problem emerging every time she goes to her own podcast. Seemingly, recently she pointed out that she was glad that she didn't have his son because the world didn't need another Barack Obama on the planet. A strange thing for a wife to say of a former president of the United States of America. You would have thought she would have been, well, at least happy or positive. Recently, of course, she said on a chat show when they said, "Do you miss living in the White House?" Oh no, as if it was an absolute endurance test. It's a privilege if you get to those particular roles, whether that be the White House, Downing Street, or wherever the main government buildings are around the world. Now, though, Michelle has a problem. Let me explain. Morning, chums. Lovely to see you today on a bit of a windy day here in Kensington. I hope you're well. A windy and beautiful sunny day, though, so we can't knock it, can we? No, we can't. I could do with a nice lolly. I don't mind saying that to you because we're just talking together. I've gone off Fabs, by the way. Yes, bought some. Yeah, let's be blunt. Just not nice now, taking the flavour out. There's hardly any cream over, and the bits at the top, they've disappeared. That's another thing out the pan. I know you might as well just make your own, haven't you? Get some cordial or something and put them in the ice cube things. In the end, I think, let me know what you think about this. I think we'll end up going back to making this stuff because the food manufacturers are killing off their own industry. Whatever you buy, there's nothing left. There's no flavour, there's no taste. So there must be more and more things just piling up on the shelves where people aren't buying them. This could be the same, yes, here we go, for the former First Lady, Michelle Obama. Now, Michelle started her own podcast with her brother and with an array of interesting hairstyles. Some might say, you could have picked up cable TV with some of them. Well, she's kind of not come across as the very best person, right? She seems to moan about everything, her life, the fact that she couldn't do what she wanted, the reason why she didn't want to go to the inauguration of Trump and all that. Just moaning. And particularly when you are a person of wealth and you've had a very privileged life, people have treated you incredibly well, you've met some amazing people, all at the courtesy of the goodness of people voting you in. They just expect a little bit of civility. Michelle, you see, yes, later this year has a book called The Look. No, not The Luke, as Meghan Markle's friend, misguidedly said, but The Look. And this is basically Michelle Obama going through all of the things, the looks that she had during her time as the First Lady of the United States. And, I've often said that I thought the Obamas treated the late Queen brilliantly well. They were very respectful, and I think the Queen liked them. No two ways about it. Here's where this gets interesting, though, because now, according to a very well-placed source, the publishers of that particular book are a little bit concerned, and rightly so, because they've obviously paid a massive wedge to the former First Lady. That's money, in case you don't know that expression. And, they need the book to sell. Now, if you've got a moaning Minnie going out across the airwaves with her own podcast every single week, you're hardly going to think, oh, I must get that book. She sounds a barrel of laughs. So they're very tentatively saying, is there a way positive? Could you just, Now, when you've got this sort of person and position in power, it's very difficult at that level. Do you understand? You can't just push them because they don't really need the money. They like it, but they don't need it. And so now this is going to be interesting because come November, Michelle will want to do some interviews, and the people behind the book, and as ever, I have to say allegedly, are a little bit concerned that she could just end up being the moaning Minnie, and rather than people wanting to get the look of Michelle Obama, will simply look away. It's interesting, isn't it, that even if you've been in that wonderful position where everything's been given to you, you haven't learned a single lesson. Becoming Michelle, how about becoming a little bit more civil to all of those people that supported you for so many years and gave you such a wonderful, privileged life? And more importantly, stop downing your husband, Barack Obama. I mean, it's just not nice, is it? Whichever way you look at it. You know the saying, chums, if you don't have anything nice to say, best to zip it. Right, Michelle? Neil Shaw in Kensington, London.